Welcome to another Business Spotlight, where we share insights, reflections, and pearls of wisdom from local business owners. My name is Kerry James. I'm a business coach and a facilitator. And on today's Business Spotlight, I'm delighted to welcome Mr. Mark Dent, co-founder of Knowles Green Creative Tasting. Good afternoon to you, Mark.
Good afternoon. Nice to see you.
Great to have you on Business Spotlight. So let's get stuck straight in, if we may, please. Knowles Green Creative Tasting, quite an intriguing name for a business, Mark. So please do give us a little bit of the history. How long have you been in the business, please, and what do you specialize in?
Yes. So Knowles Green has been actually it's just 3 years. 3 years, November the 15th, which we're just coming up to. And we're located in Bollington. We specialize in cheese and wine. So the shop is almost divided equally between, from a sales perspective, of cheese and wine. And I think myself, I'm a bit of a wine expert. My business partner, Dagmara, is a cheese and wine expert. And collectively, we've made Knowles Green. I guess that answers that question. Yeah.
Great. So what made you choose Bollington then as a location then, Mark?
Good question. Well, we both of us live in Bollington. So on different sides. I live on the west side, I believe, and she lives on the east side. And we both live in Bollington. We've worked together in the past. We've been friends for several years. So for us to sort of do something, a project like this in Bollington, sort of made sense, really. You know, the community is nice. It's very supportive. And we found a lovely little shop, and it just sort of gelled. So
great.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing a pretty competitive area. Clearly, you've got the big supermarkets all selling cheeses and wine. So what was the inspiration for starting the business, please, Mark? And how do you attract people away from the supermarkets into your shop, would you say?
Sure. I think it's all about shopping local. It's about precision of product, and expertise. We can offer a whole host of expertise that the supermarket necessarily can't. The supermarket can be quite faceless, really, to some extent. Whereas we have two faces here, and those faces are in combination work for the customer. So it's more than just a shop. It's a social hub, and it's a place where you can come, you can enjoy, you can get company, you can get expert advice. And I think that's one of our sort of it's part of our ethos, and it's also our focus.
Excellent. Okay, so if we think about the last, you mentioned you started 3 years ago. It's been a challenging, interesting few years with, of course, lockdown.
Yeah.
And the whole interest rate, inflation, digitalization, hybrid working, all of these environmental trends and factors. How do you think those have impacted your industry and your business in particular?
Well, I think we were really quite fortunate, really, when it came to lockdown. We opened up, pretty much when lockdown was in full swing as such. It was the beauty for us was that we were described as essential. And so it gave people an opportunity to come to us as an essential shop. We did very much become a social hub. So people were not allowed, really, in fairness, to sort of wander too far from their home. It was a case of daily exercise or shopping at essentials. So to come here, when we opened at that stage, we were the essential shop, and it gave people, all the local community that came to our shop, an opportunity to just sort of sit and chit chat and get to know us and the shop. They used us as an excuse to shop, and that's built up our rapport with the local community. So fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, it worked to our advantage.
Right.
So it's,
I love the fact that cheese and wine is classified as essential.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Thoroughly
yeah.
approve of that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Me too, me too. But I mean, it goes beyond just the cheese and wine. There are other elements to the business, of course, but those are the key focuses, you know.
Okay. And
But we also have bread. Bread is very much essential, and but yeah.
okay. Do you bake your bread on site then?
No, no, we have a local baker. She was located in Bollington. She's actually had to move to a slightly bigger premise, which is just outside of Bollington. But yeah, we get fresh bread from Wednesday to Saturday throughout the week, and it arrives, you know, nice and warm as soon as we open. So it's good. It's very good.
Great. And just a little, what were you doing before? Were you in the retail in that business before, or what were you doing immediately prior to the shop opening then, Mark?
Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So myself, I've worked in the wine industry for several years. I've been involved with wine over 30 years, but more focused on the wine industry for the last 25 years. My last position was, or the last two positions have been sort of in a wine buying position. Dagmara, who, as mentioned, is the co-founder. She's worked in the cheese and dairy industry, so she's been a cheese maker, a butter making champion. She also has worked with me previously in a wine shop in Manchester, and she has her diploma in wine. So collectively, we're sort of well positioned for
Great.
wine and cheese.
Champion butter maker, hey, what
Yeah,
fantastic. So
yeah.
what about aspirations for the business then, Mark? Where do you see the size and shape of Knowles Green going in the next 3 to 5 years?
Sure. That's quite interesting because we've just recently, in the last couple of months, had a refit. So we've turned from a very small shop to a slightly larger shop, and we've extended our hours, and we've become more of a cheese and wine shop with a wine bar side to us. And I think we can both see the wine bar sort of element sort of being really successful and sort of turning into something that's with having nurtured it a little bit, it's really starting to blossom. So I think for us, the future lies with still the wine and cheese, but sort of turning into more of a wine bar and sort of quite a lot, maybe a larger shop in that sense. So perhaps it's a case of larger premises, but certainly to sort of have the combination of those three elements: the wine bar, the wine, the cheese, all sort of collective. I think that's really where we're looking at. At the moment, it's working well, and I think time will tell how that progresses.
Okay, so given that kind of direction or those aspirations, then Mark, what would you say are the main challenges for your business today to start moving in those directions?
Finding a site for sure. So you know, when we're talking about Bollington, where we're at now, the sites that are here are very limited, and most of them really are quite small in essence. So finding a site that's a suitable site within a suitable community. So I think that's the biggest challenge for us, other than financial sort of challenges. But the financial challenges hopefully will come with time. So.
And how have the the demand and supply? I'm imagining that is a reasonably challenging element in the cheese and wine business. What are the dynamics there, and how have in terms of your expectations as to how quickly things would grow? Where are you with that, and what sort of challenges do you have in relation to getting the right number of customers in, getting the right customers in, and having enough throughput in the business?
Yeah. It's quite a detailed question. It's for the customer, from the customer point of view, we're fortunate. Bollington's a very supportive community. So having people sort of come here seems to be sort of a little easier than we might anticipate. So we have a regular client base that sort of continues to sort of come and support us. From a product perspective, product is not really that much of a challenge to some extent. The products that we want to sort of purchase and that focus on are easy for us, or relatively easy for us to purchase and buy in and sell. I don't see that really too challenging. The biggest challenge, I think, is just to maintain the level of service that we provide, and although I don't see that as a challenge, but it's about having an expectation that the customer wants and maintaining that and driving that forward. So I think that answers most of your question. I'm not sure if I.
Yes, maybe I asked too many questions at once there, Mark. So apologies for that. So how would you describe the perfect customer for you then? Is the real kind of specialist enthusiast? Is that the type of profile you're looking for, Mark? Or how might you describe your ideal customer?
Yeah. I guess it's a combination, really. I think it's the customers that we tend to get are I think that are people that want to sort of, they may want to challenge themselves and try new things. They may be people that sort of are going out and sort of going on holidays, and they're going further afield, and they're trying lots of different interesting things when they're on holiday. It might be that they're in a position where they can experience, they're welcome to experience new wines, new cheeses. It's someone that might have a bit of a gastronomic flair. I think they're people that tend to sort of go out and socialize, and go out into the big city, or go on holidays. And for us, it's sort of trying to bring the big city into the small little town, and sort of bringing a little taste of that. So, yeah, I don't think we're taking people out of their comfort zone too far, if at all, but it's a case of just being able to find something inspirational, creative, and giving people the opportunity to be creative. I think that's where I am.
Right. Okay. So you're clearly from a background of expertise within wine.
Yeah.
What would you say, broadening out the discussion a little bit, what would you say are your main lessons or your top learnings from running a business as opposed to being a wine expert?
I think for me, some of the biggest things that I've learned as a personal, from a personal point of view, is about the involvement of social media and marketing the business effectively, and getting to the right customer base. I find that really fascinating and sort of and challenging at the same time. But I'm quite as an individual, I see myself as quite artistic and quite creative, and sort of it gives me a chance to sort of use my creative flair and from a different point of view, from a different angle. So that's been quite an unexpected, I think, learning curve, yeah, and I enjoy it, which is quite nice,
And so, which are the priority social media feeds that you use in your business now, then, Mark?
Well, I think Dagmar and we both sort of share this responsibility sort of fairly equally. I think sometimes we focus a lot on Instagram and Facebook. I think those are our two main platforms. However, we're open to other suggestions. As we're just a small team, we certainly don't want to stretch ourselves too far, but those are our main social media platforms. Yeah.
Very good. Excellent. Okay. Well, it's been great to hear your story, Mark. I've got two final questions for you, if I may.
Okay.
The first one is, what is your favorite wine in the 10 to 15 pounds price range?
That's a good question. There isn't really an answer to that, unfortunately.
Okay, give us your top three.
There is an answer, but the answer changes sort of daily, and it changes weekly, and it changes sometimes from
today's answer is good, Mark. Go for it. What would you choose today?
I think the thing is that when you're talking about wine and you're talking about your favorite wines, I think that the opportunity to sort of be quite open about that is the way forward, really, rather than defining a single wine. I'd rather sort of encapsulate the whole market. So I think that's the beauty of wine, is not necessarily to focus too much on a wine. It's all about sort of expanding and trying different wines. So that's really where I'd be.
And is there a new line or a new grape variety or something that people are trying of the moment, if you like? Is there a new line that's selling particularly well, or a combination with a particular cheese, or anything that might be particularly interesting to viewers in terms of understanding more about the combinations?
I think the beauty of Knowles Green is that when they're coming here, they're getting an opportunity to get expert advice. And generally, I think that the consumer has an amount of knowledge, however you define that. They're coming to an environment which has they have the opportunity to share with us what their requirements are, and it's about sort of directing to their exact requirement. So that could be food driven, it could be sort of in a social environment, whatever, but it's about really focusing on what their requirements are and how we can sort of deal with that. I don't think there's a single answer to that, unfortunately, but it's about sort of dressing it that way. Yeah.
Okay, I think I might need to come in and find my own answer to my own question there, Mark.
I'm surprised you haven't been in already.
So am I. We'll have to sort that one out, definitely. So final question then, Mark. We're clearly, we're coming up towards Christmas, just around the corner. I'm guessing one of your busiest times of the year. Do you have any offers or any announcements or any invitations that you'd like to share with people watching the Business Spotlight?
Sure. I think for us, it's all hampers. Hampers tend to sort of be king at this time of year, and we've just launched our website, and we're giving everyone the opportunity to sort of go onto our website, and there's an order form that people can look at, and there's lots of images that people can look at, and I think that's a good way of experiencing the whole sort of Knowles Green philosophy. I think
Excellent.
That's
Okay then, Mark. Well, we will definitely include that URL with the video posts.
Yeah.
And once again, thanks ever so much for sharing your background, the details of your journey, and all the very best with Knowles Green Creative Tasting.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
All the best, Mark. Thanks for now.
Yeah.
Interview closed. Well done, Mark. Thought that flowed very nicely.
Can I leave you with that little snippet?
Yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely fine. I'm going to come in. I'm going to come and see you. Definitely. Where?
Don't ask me where we are. Come on.
Are you but down opposite the Tesco's?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I do drive past there quite reasonably regularly. I've got a very good golfing mate who lives opposite the Spinners Arms. I do drive through. I mean, I've been at a client in Macclesfield this morning, so I've driven past you this morning. So I'm definitely going to come in and see you because I like to get hampers for my clients actually. So I'm definitely going to come in and see you, Mark.
Okay, I'm going to leave that, Sherry. I need to sort of crack on now with the Knowles Green, but
Yeah, okay.
I appreciate your time.
I'll pop in and see you.
Make sure that when you do come in, that you do make yourself known and say hello and stuff.
Yeah, of course, will do. All right,
Okay.
then, Mark.
Okay.
All the best. I'll speak to you soon.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
Cheers. Bye-bye.